We have to begin with the president, though we're not showing or playing what he said. We couldn't air it live because we frankly couldn't have it, between the lies and the blatant attacks on our own system of elections in our country. Tell us what's been going on behind the scenes.
Sure. So the president has cycled through a number of moods in these basically 48 hours since the polls closed. And for what it's worth, just starting with today, what MSNBC couldn't air, frankly, is what a number of the president's own advisors didn't want him to say either. And that's what they've spent the past day trying to prevent. So the president woke up this morning. He was angry and defiant. He wanted to say something. Initially, he tweeted, "Stop the vote." And advisors kind of had to huddle with him and explain, well, sir, if you stop the vote right now, in fact, you would lose. So they workshopped a different phrase, "stop the fraud," which, again, there is no evidence, I need to say, of any widespread voting fraud at all, but it worked better for the president's messaging purposes. And then the president spent the day, again, wanting to go out and make the remarks that he ultimately did at the end of the day. And advisors cautioned him not to. They told him to keep a low profile, and they tried to placate him by saying, look, this is our legal strategy. Here's how we're fighting in the states. We have people and allies out defending you on television. Here's where we're fundraising money from donors for this big legal fight. But at the end of the day, the president, he wanted to go out. He wanted to make those statements. He increasingly at first came to terms with the idea that he might lose, but he could not accept the reality, which is that if he loses, it will be because he loses fair and square, because of what Steve Kornacki just outlined. And so he began saying if he loses, it's because the election will have been stolen from him. And as you said, that is basically what he said tonight in that press conference that you didn't air.
And Alexi McCammon, a fraught relationship between the Trump White House, even Trump family members, and Fox News. Fox News has the electoral vote count higher than us. They're at 264. They called Arizona, and that angered all the people around the president. Though I note they're still getting heavy air support, Team Trump is, during most of primetime coverage on Fox News. My question to you is, if this goes 270 for Joe Biden, if as early as tonight or tomorrow night, and we've talked about this before, can you name any potential profiles in Courage, adult voices who can and will approach and talk to the president?
I mean, Brian, what we know about President Trump, especially at this point in his term, is that he listens to himself. And to Ashley's point in her reporting, even when his advisors huddle with him to try to explain these things, we still see the way in which he approaches the podium to say exactly how he is feeling and exactly what is on his mind, even if his advisors are saying this is not based in fact and this actually wouldn't help you win what you were advocating for. So, it doesn't really matter. But what is interesting is we're seeing some Republicans slowly but surely come out and say things. Chris Christie, former governor of New Jersey, a high-profile Trump loyalist of sorts, was on ABC earlier tonight basically saying, and I'm paraphrasing, to the president, put up or shut up. Show us the evidence of what you're talking about or move on. And so we're slowly starting to see this. But, these former Republican officials don't really matter so much to the president. And really, at the end of the day, it's what the president feels and what he feels he needs to do to win re-election. And at the very least, to sow confusion and to cast doubt on a legitimate victory, if that is what happens for Joe Biden.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.